Hi there, I'm Jeff Bodine, and I'm doing another Thursday night game. Tonight, my opponent is Joseph. I'm going to show you.
Hello.
There he is. Okay, and he is playing a Seer Council Eldar, and I'm playing Ultramarines. Now, we already deployed, so I'm going to go straight into that and not really introduce the armies so much, but I will kind of go over each unit on the board as we go. The first thing I want to do is show the mission. So we're doing Purge the Foe, which is one that I've done before on these. That's Kill More, Hold More. And then the deployment zone for this one is Hammer and Anvil. Okay, here we go. Like I said, we already got through deployment, so I'm going to go on ahead and show the armies. I'll start with mine. Like I said, I'm playing Ultramarines. This is Gladius Detachment. I remembered to mention that this time. And right here we have a unit of 3 of the Outrider bikes. Then I have a unit of 6 aggressors with the bolt stern gauntlets. Up here in this building, I have 10 stern guard with bolt rifles. The sergeant has a power fist, and they're joined by a librarian who has fire discipline, which gives me sustained hits and some other bonuses when I'm in certain tactical modes related to the detachment. Then I've got a Vindicator here, and the dice today is the Hunter Killer Missile. The Imperials have Hunter Killers on theirs, where Chaos has some kind of little missile launcher thing. Then right next to him is 6 of the Victrix Guard, joined by Captain Titus there, the new one. Then I've got Lord Gilliman himself, very fancy. Then I have an ATV with a multi-meltus. A lot of this is going to be kind of the same. Well, actually, you may not have seen me play with Marines. This is a lot of this is standard loadout. But anyway, there's a combi lieutenant with nothing. Then coming over here, this is a proxy today. My deepest apologies. It's supposed to be a 5 Vanguard vets. I know. I should lose all my points. This is a 5-man Vanguard vet unit with storm shields and the Vanguard weapons, which are Strength 5 AP1. Hey, buddy. Then. Okay, then I've got another Vindicator over here on the right flank, joined by another 6-man unit of aggressors. Those are painted, so I should get credit for that, right? Okay, that's my army. Now I'm going to do here's my opponent's army. We are looking at 10 Fire Dragons joined by Flagon, and those are his 2 aspect tokens. This is 5 of the Corsairs, I believe.
Yep, Corsair Void Weavers.
Yeah, Corsair Void Weavers. This is 10 of the
Dark Reapers.
Dark Reapers, joined by Mog and Ra, looks like. Then that is an Eldar Warlock Skyrunner, which is just a dude on a bike. He's actually one of the most incredibly useful utilitarian units in the game. Super cheap, super fast, has an invul, is really useful. Anyway, so carrying on, this is a 10-man, this is a Storm Guardian unit with the Serpent Shield, which gives him a 5+ invul, joined by a 4-man Warlock Council, an Eldrad, and apparently another Warlock character. Then there are 2 more of those Skyrunners. This is a 5-man Banshee unit, and that is a Autarch with a Banshee mask. Then we'll go over to the other side of the table. We have 5 Warp Spiders with looks like a Spinneret rifle there on the Exarch.
Currently being played as Sky Reavers because the Corsair box has not come out yet.
Okay, this is some kind of other thing. I have no idea what it is. Then there are 5 Swooping Hawks with looks like just the Las Blasters or whatever they have, and then 5 more of the Reavers, yeah. Then 2 units. These are actually they're Guardian models, but they're playing as Rangers today. 2 5-man Ranger units, and I think that's everything. In reserves, he has the Warwalker, and I don't know what those other models are.
But
those are
Swooping Hawks, but they'll probably be dead.
okay. Those are 5 more Swooping Hawks. All right. Okay, I had a few infiltrators. An infiltrator. That's my lieutenant there. These guys infiltrated. These guys can scout. I forgot to mention who's going to go first, so I'll go on ahead and see that now. I already won the roll. He won the roll to choose attacker defender and had me be defender, so I had to start deploying first. And then I, quote unquote, won the roll to go first. and have to go first. So we'll see how this goes. All right, and I'll do a video at the bottom of my turn, and we will see how things are looking. All right, thanks. Okay, here we go. This is the end of my turn, and right now I have 11 points. I killed 2 units. I killed this ranger unit that was here, and then I assaulted through the wall over there and got those void scarred guys, and then bounced back onto this objective over here in order to hold that and not get my face blasted off by those guys quite as easily. They're going to have to work a little harder for it. Let's see. So yeah, I've ended up with 11. It's now his turn. Now my secondaries on this one, I should probably start with that. Tempting target and established locus. Established locus has 2 modes. You can either do it within 6 of the center, which I did with my lieutenant here, or you can do it in the enemy's deployment zone, but turn 1, it's basically impossible unless the guy just doesn't have a very big army. And even then, I don't have the ability to just magically appear over there turn 1. So it is essentially impossible for most armies to do established locus in the enemy's deployment zone turn 1. So, but I was set up to get what I got, which is good, and he picked that objective for tempting target. So I did bounce up there and grab it. And I've got this one right here with bikes with a good run. And we are done. It's now going to be his turn. So we'll do another video at the end of his turn and see where we're at. Thanks. Okay, here we go. The bottom of turn 1. Just to start, he drew no prisoners and tempting target. And I selected the same one as before. And he did make a heroic effort to grab it and sent in some howling banshees. He killed 4 out of 6 of them, and I punched back and killed 3. He moved these guys up, so he snatched this one away from me. That's OC10 to my OC6. But he did not manage to kill any units yet. He did retain no prisoners in the hopes that he can bag these dudes at the end of the turn. So we'll see how it goes. And next up, it's going to be my turn, and we'll do another video at the end of the turn. As of the end of turn 1, it is 11-5 currently. So we'll see at the end of my turn 2. Thanks. Okay, end of my turn, round 2. My secondaries this turn were assassination and extend battle lines. Assassination, kill a character, pretty obvious. Extend battle lines, I have to hold my I have to hold 1 in no man's land for 2, or my home objective, and it's 1 or more objectives in my deployment zone, and then 1 or more in no man's land. So at the end of this turn, he had a group of guys here, which these dudes shot and killed. And then I put myself in tactical mode and fell back to here with my aggressors and shot up those dudes a little bit. And then I charged the Banshees with my Victrix, and he actually killed 2 of them. Those guys were super annoying. For a 5-man unit, they really punched up. But I ended up in this phase controlling all 3 of the objectives. So, and I have killed 3 units for the turn. We'll see how it goes for him. But the final right now, and I'll go on ahead and include the paint here. It's 38-15. So we'll do another video at the end of his turn. Thanks. Okay, here we are, bottom of round 2. He had a very interesting turn. I believe he teleported his Dark Reapers right here to lay into the Victrix, which he eventually did kill. But let me actually back up, I'm sorry. His secondaries that he drew for this turn were Storm Hostile objective and no prisoners. And Storm Hostile he did by snatching this away. I used a reactive move to just run away. And he has tied up this one, I believe. So that shows 4 with, I assume this thing's worth 2. So it's tied there. And he's got that one. So we have not been able to really maintain control of any objectives the entire game. So it'll be very interesting to see how this all unfolds. But the end of round 2, the score is 38-32. So very, very close. All right, I'm going to do my turn, and then we'll do another video. Thanks. Okay, here we go. Bottom of my turn on turn 3. I drew no prisoners and secure no man's land. Secure no man's land, I have to hold 2 objectives in no man's land, hence the term. And no prisoners, I get 2 points for every unit that I kill, and that includes characters. So he had his fire dragons over here. He had his giant blob of ultra death with all the warlocks and Eldrad and all the horrible guys. And he has his Dark Reapers here who have survived it mostly unscathed. And there was some of the Swooping Hawks and the Warwalker here. So I was able to move up here. Oh, and he rapid ingressed a squad of another squad of Falcons back here, which is bad news for me. And I had to bring in my reserves, and I wanted to kind of block him out, but he found a hole that I forgot about, so that's very annoying. But I couldn't have done anything about it anyway. If I got one, he would have had the other, so it's moot. But I put down my guys there, and I will move them up into the no man's land after that. I shot and killed the fire dragons, but they popped back up, or the Fuegan pops back up on 2, and I charged him with Titus and killed him. And then I was able to chew the crap out of his core unit with this big cannon and then a bunch of auxiliary shooting that I had moved into the area, and was able to basically clear them all out with a few lucky rolls. And then Gilman was able to charge in and eviscerate poor Eldrad. So that's kind of where we're at. I did a lot of damage this turn. And the current game state is 56 for me, 32 to him, but he still gets his turn, of course. So it'll be much closer than that, but that's where we're at. All right, thanks, guys. Okay, this is the bottom of turn 3, and my opponent managed to score one of his secondaries for 4 points, and he held a primary for 4 to bring his current total up to 30. We went on ahead and talked out the rest of the game because my previous turn was so damaging that it was kind of over, unfortunately. So the final score ended up being 100 to me and 48 to my charming opponent, who's very skilled. So thank you to Joseph for the game, and we'll take a look at some of the fancy painted models here momentarily. Okay, here is a little paint video for my army. My opponent did not want to show anything today, which is okay. So we're going to look at my stuff, only the painted models, of course. Unfortunately, I didn't have a fully painted army today. We scored it as if we had. That's pretty common practice in my experience. But I will look at the units that I do have painted. So first of all, I have the Librarian from my Stern Guard. Here's his shoulder pad with the chapter marking. There we go. And then there's the other side. So it's a decent paint job, nothing fancy. Then 5 of the Stern Guard. Now what's funny is when I painted these, for whatever reason I decided to start with the second half instead of the first half. So the Sergeant is in the first half and is not painted. So I just have the 5 other Joes. So that was somewhat funny. But that's these guys. So let's look at these. All right. So what I do like to do is I like to follow the Codex Astartes when it comes to the painting. And these guys are all quote unquote by the book. They, for Ultramarines, the veterans of the first company have white trim. So these guys have white trim on their shoulder pads, and then their helmets are white. So that is why that is done, and they're not blue like the rest of their armor. Then we will move on to my 2 Vindicators. I painted them at different times with a different primer, unfortunately, but this one looks too cool to redo, so I'm just going to have to grin and bear it. So this one I painted a long time ago and to a higher standard. But yeah, here's this one. So it's a little bit of a patchwork one with, it's an older kit before the current build. Oh, actually, no, you know what? This one is the new one and the other one is a older patchwork made one. But it has all sorts of cool script on it and lots of little bits and everything. And I bothered to build that silly shell thing on the back. I didn't do that too much more. But this one is pretty cool looking. And then here's the one that I painted more recently. Now this one was one that was only partially of the current proper kit. So like the top hatch part, as you can see, is different here versus here, but the cannon and the front piece and the seed shield are all the same, so that's good enough. And there's plenty of bits stuck on there to make it look different. So here we go, here's the backside. But yeah, so you know, it's the 13th Legion, that's what that's for. So it's just fun, and it's simple, nothing fancy, no highlights or anything. Then we'll look at my aggressors. One of my 2 aggressor squads are painted. A fun thing here, for this type of unit, the sergeant's helmets are red, so that's why that one's different. So back in the day when sergeants mattered, that guy was marked properly as the sergeant. And then the unit type, the aggressors are considered a fire support, so it has that chevron on there. So that is cool. And then there is, let's see, that marking on there is 16. So this is unit 16. I have a bunch of units already painted, and this one was just the 16th in line. So now we're gonna look at, let's see, we'll look at, hold on. Okay, now we're gonna take a look at Gilliman. Now this guy I put a lot of work into and tried to do him to the best of my ability. So here he is. I am very proud of the way this guy looks, and I have, when I've been at events that take best painted, or like have painting contests, I will submit him, and I have actually usually won when I submit, which is, you know, a little braggadocious, but it is true, and I am very proud of him, and he's very cool, and he was my first Primarch. So I really love this model, and I love playing with him, and so I will not play the army if I can't play him. So there we go. That's Lord Gilliman. Okay, sorry I don't have more stuff painted, but I'll get it there. It's always a work, never ending. And thanks for looking.